now I have completed the rest of the part. Okay, so what you have to check, you have to just check the sign. So you see I have make a table, so where I have written what is my fx. So you can write this thing for your reference, then f1x, f2x, f3x, f4x, like that. And then there you have some variation. Okay, that how many sign change, or you can write sign variation. Okay, so here what is the problem here? Problem is given that using Sturm's theorem find a sub interval of -4,3. So in that -4,3 you have to choose different sub interval. Okay, so I am choosing with the length 1. Okay, so I am, you see, -4, -3, -2. In this way I have make a table. Okay, and for example if I put f of -4 in that expression, you just put x equal to -4, then check the sign. If you are getting positive, so that is positive. If you are getting negative, write negative in this way. Okay, same thing for your f1 -4, f2 -4. In this way we have made. For example, if you see f4 of x is 1, so 1 is constant, it is always positive, right? So that's why in that whole column it is positive everywhere. Okay, and in this way you make this table. Now you see at the -4 how many change variation is there? Plus to minus, this is one change. Okay, I am, yeah, this is one change, this is one change, 2, 3, 4, right? So I have write 4. Next, for -3 you have 3, no change, right? Here to here one change, here to here one change, here to here one change, so 3 I have written. Okay, similar for -2, 1 change, 2 change, 3 change, right? So 3. In this way you make where you have the change. Now what you have to do, in the interval -4 to -3, you see the sign variation reduces by 1, so you have one root in that interval. Okay, so you see there is no change, right? 3, 3, 3, no change. So when it is changed in between 0 and 1, you can say there are actually 2 change, right? So that you have to write. And in between 2 and 3, so basically there you have one more change. Okay, so this thing you have to write. So the roots fx equal to fx equal to 0 has one root in where -4 to -3, right? In -4 to -3, and then you have and I am writing this 2, 3, because in this you have one root and 2 root in 0 to 1, right? So this is your complete answer. Okay, so in this way you have to complete. Okay, so I have seen one of the problem, one of the PYQ, only this type of problem is coming anyway, but you have to practice. Okay, so I think we have sent a book, right? A schema of a book. You write down any example from there and try to solve it. So first what you have to do, let's recalling what we have done. First you have to find or write down fx, then you have to find f1x, which is derivative of that. Okay, yeah, in this type of thing you can take common 4. Okay, then you can start from x cube minus 6x plus 3, that type of thing you can do. That any multiplicating factor you can do. Okay, but remember after f and f1 you have to, whatever remainder you are getting, that remainder should multiply with negative. Okay, now I am trying this f1 with fx, so what remainder I am getting? This one. You can take some factor common for whatever you are getting, and then you have to multiply with -1. That is the important thing. Okay, now what you have to do next? Next you have to do so this is your f2x. Now you have to do f2x divides this one, right? 4x cube minus 24, this one. So whatever remainder you are getting, this one. Now in this remainder again you change the sign, so you are getting this. Okay, in this way complete the total thing. Okay, okay, changing sign. So you complete this. Next, so next one is the relation between roots and ratio. I think this thing also discussed. I just have point note down what are the formula. You know, if you have something polynomial, suppose 2x cube plus 4 x square plus 6x plus 7 equal to 0. So try to divide by this 2, right? So then you will get this type of equation like x cube plus 2 x square plus 3x plus 7 by 2. Now in this expression, if they ask what are the sum of the roots, so sum of the roots here minus b1, so you can say sum of the root will be your minus 2, right? And this thing, so suppose you have summation alpha beta. Summation alpha beta means if your root is your alpha, beta and gamma, so summation alpha beta means alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha, right? This type of combination. So this type of combination, you can say this value will be 3. You see there is some minus alteration, minus plus, I think this is also minus. I have written some mistake, sorry. Yeah, similar for 4th degree equation, you have summation alpha, summation alpha, summation alpha beta, gamma, summation, and this one. Okay, so this type of thing. Okay, so summation alpha, you can say from here that minus b1, the next one, whenever you have summation alpha beta, this will be the next of next, so b2 in this way. Okay, there are various type of problem is coming. For example, suppose I give you one equation, x to the power 4 plus 4x square plus 16x plus 8, suppose. Okay, now suppose I ask what are the root of summation alpha square. Okay, this thing you have to find. Okay, so how you will find that summation alpha square? So basically here you know what are the root of summation alpha, right? Summation alpha will be what? It will be in the root of all sum of the thing that is the coefficient of x cube, but you see the here the coefficient is 0, so you have this thing. And what you have summation alpha beta? Summation alpha beta will be 4. You have to think inside that where the coefficient is 0. So like x to the power 4 plus 0x cube plus 4x to the power 4 plus 4x square plus 16x plus 8 equal to 0, right? So this is would be minus, this will be plus, so that's why I have written plus. Okay, so you know there is some formula like summation alpha whole square. If you do this, will be summation alpha square plus 2 into summation alpha beta. So here basically you have to find this one, so you can easily find, right? So this type of problem you can do. Basically I have taken some random value. Okay, so basically from here this 4 should be minus type of thing, otherwise you are getting summation alpha square is a minus 8. That is not true, right? So from there what you have, summation alpha square is equal to summation alpha 0, so 0 minus 2 into minus 4, so you have 18. Okay, so this type of problem also I have seen in some other problem. I think this type of problem already you have practiced, right? Now next, in the next you have reciprocal equation. This is very important. So I think we have written what, TE2, this one, or 3, this is TE2, right? This is your TE3, very important. TE3 I will consider up to 5. Okay, in this 5 you will get I think 12 to 15 marks, so be prepared for that in this paper. I think you already have practiced the matrix theory 1, right? So there are only this matrix theory you will get almost 15 to 17 number. Okay, but you have to understand how the row operation works, how to find the eigenvalue, eigenvector. You see this video well and try the homework. Okay, so next, what are the reciprocal equation? Basically, in the reciprocal equation, if 2 is a root, so in that you can say 1 by 2 is also root. Okay, like that. So if your x is a root, so 1 by x is also root, like that. So if you have this type of thing, so in place of x, if you write 1 by x, then no problem for that equation, right? So in place of x, if you write 1 by x, okay, so what you will get, basically a0 into 1 by x whole to the power n plus a1 into 1 by x whole to the power n minus 1, right? This type of thing. Now if you multiply with x to the power n, sorry, so what you will get, whole equation if you multiply with x to power n, so you will get a n into x to power n here. The next previous element, here you have a n minus 1 into 1 by x, so that thing you will get this way, and you see the first element will be a0 only, right, in this way. So these two equation have actually same type of root, right? So basically in that type of thing, your a0 and an will be like some, either they will be equal or they will be multiplied with minus 1, because you see sometime you will see some equation is written is it's about 2x square minus 5x plus 3. This is same as minus 2x square plus 5x minus 3 equal to 0, right? These two equations are same, right? So from there, if you can compare that a0 and an, there is the relation will be either minus 1 whole to the power some k, okay, like that. So either they will be k equal to 0 or 1. Okay, a1 will be your minus 1 whole to the power k, a n minus 1, like that. For example, if you see this, okay, 2 minus 5x cube plus 5x minus 2. So if you're trying to write the equation in the converse way, so basically what you have, 2 in the opposite side it is minus 2, right? Here this is minus 5, on the opposite side this is 5, so there will be some symmetric type of thing. So if you go in this way or in this way, you will get the same thing. It may be multiplied with minus 1, that's it. Here also you see 3 13 13 3, like that. Okay, basically if you do in this way, what are the order you are getting, 2 minus 5 5 minus 2, right? And if you go in this way, what you are getting, minus 2 5 minus 5 2. So if you multiply it with this minus 1, but you, whenever you are multiplying, you will be have same thing. So if you see minus 1 into, if you multiply, so you are getting the same, right? Minus 2 into minus 1 2, 5 into minus 1 minus 5, minus 1 into minus 5, this is 5, minus 1 into 2 minus 2. So you are getting, so this type of equation is called reciprocal. So in 2-3 years one problem is coming from here. Okay, so I am taking one of them. Okay, so first one, okay, I have not taken any homework. So how to do this type of problem? You see, they have given this problem, but they have not written that this is reciprocal. This is, you have to choose. You see the coefficient is like that, right? 1 minus 6 10 minus 6 1. So both way you are getting the same, right? If you go from this way, so what you are getting, 1 minus 6 10 minus 6 1. So in this way you are getting this one, and this side if you go, so you are getting 1 minus 6 10 minus 6 1. So it is the same order, right? So this is your reciprocal equation. So this type of problem, how you have to deal, basically you have to construct some this type of thing, x plus 1 by x. Okay, before that, so what I am you have to write in this way. You see, x to the 4 plus 1, I have bracketed it. Okay, from this one 6x cube and 6x, if you take common minus 6x, you have this thing x square plus 1, and what is left, 10x square. Now you divide by x square the whole equation. So whenever you are dividing by x square this term, okay, so what you will get, x to the 4 by x square, that is x square, 1 by x square, right? And then you have minus 6 if you divide by x, so you have x plus 1 by x, and then you have plus 10 equal to 0, right? Now you consider t equal to x plus 1 by x, right? Now if you consider t equal to x plus 1 by x, so what will get for t square? You know, it will get x square plus 1 by x square plus 2 into x into 1 by x, right? If you cancel, this is your 2. So you see t square minus 2 is actually x square plus 1 by x square, right? So you can substitute this value. So I have substituted t square minus 2, and then you see minus 6 then you have x plus 1 by x, you have considered is t, so I have written t, and then plus 10, right? This is fine. Now after that step, you just simplify this one. So minus 2 plus 10 is plus 8, you have this. So if you do just middle term factor, from there you have two values, 2 and 4. Now for 2 value, if you have x plus 1 by x is equal to 2, so x square plus 1 is equal to 2x. So from here you have x minus 1 square equal to 0. So you have x equal to 1 and 1, right? If your t is equal to 4, then you have x plus 1 by x is equal to 4. X square plus 1 is equal to 4x. So x square minus 4x plus 1 is 0. So from there you just use the Siddharacharya rule, and from there you are getting these two roots. So roots are 1 comma 1 and 2 plus minus root 3, right? So in this way you have to complete. Next is your Cardans method. So this is your T2 T3, right? Very important. Okay, now the next thing is your, suppose I am doing TE4. This is your Cardans method. Very important. One problem sure it is coming from the Cardans method. Okay, so basically when this Cardans method applicable, whenever your equation is cubic, then you can solve. You know how to solve this quadratic equation, basically using Siddharacharya rule, right? So similar in the Cardans method is very helpful for the solving the cubic equation. Okay, so these three problem is in your past 3 years. So I have taken, and I am doing the most difficult one. You see, there are so many terms. Okay, so I am trying the third one. The remaining 2 is your homework 1 and homework 2. Okay, but it is your choice. You have to practice. Still you have, I think today is your 7, so still you have 10 to 12 days. Okay, just in this 2 class you will get more than 15 marks, but you have to practice. Okay, so what you have to do here, consider x is equal to y plus h. Okay, so in this expression, x cube plus 6x square minus 12x plus 32, I am substituting. So I am substituting x equal to y plus h. So if you substitute this equation, you have y plus h cube plus 6 into y plus h square minus 12 into y plus h plus 32 equal to 0. Right? Now if you break this a plus b whole cube, so you have this thing, this thing, right? And if you break this square, you have this thing, and then you have this thing, and then you have this thing. Okay, I will tell you why the first two is easier. Basically this step we are getting to get into the form this and this. Okay, so what your target, you see what is the difference between first, second and third. Basically you see the square term is not there, right? So here also my target is this, so I am taking the common. Okay, various power, yq power is that's 1, y square power is this, y coefficient is this, and the constant coefficient is this. Now in this coefficient your target is 3h plus 6 is your 0, so from there you are getting h value is minus 2, right? Now if you substitute h equal to minus 2 in this type of expression, you will see 3h square plus 12h minus 12. What we have, 3 into minus 2 square, that is 4, plus 12 into minus 2 minus 12. So what are the value you are getting? I think minus 24, right? This is I have written. Similarly you apply here h equal to minus 2, so basically minus 8 plus 24 minus 24 plus 32. So minus 2, so whenever you are subtracting this will be plus, right? This is not cancelled. Okay, so basically you see this is you have 24, so 324 is 72, so you are getting this equation. Okay, so if your problem is already in this form, you don't have to do this part. Okay, so that's why I am taking the most difficult one. Okay, so if it is already in this form, so your problem will start from here. Okay, so you will start from x equal to u plus b, but I have to write y equal to u plus b because I have one change of transformation. Okay, translation we have used. Okay, so if you consider y equal to u plus b, so basically if you consider y equal to u plus b, so basically what is your yq? Yq will be uq plus bq plus 3ub into u plus b, right? U plus b, you know this formula. So in place of u plus b, you are writing y, right? And so if you take this one side, so what you have, yq minus 3uvy plus minus uq plus bq is 0. So in this expression, if you compare this thing with your previous one, basically I am saying this with this one. Okay, so what you have, this 3uv term is your 24, right? If you compare, so you have this one. Second, you have uq plus vq is your minus 72, right? This is the thing. So you can easily do up to this, right? Now what you have to do, basically there is some formula, this you have to remember. If your uv is equal to minus h and uq plus vq is your minus g, then uq or vq, this value will be half of minus g plus root over g square plus 4hq. Okay, whenever this is plus, so for the opposite one this is minus. So if you think how we are getting this type of expression, it is very difficult to remember, so I want to do. Okay, so for this one you can also do, this is very easy how you are doing. Basically you see u is equal to 8, so you can say v is equal to 8 minus u, right? If you substitute this thing in that expression, you have uq plus 1 by 8q by uq equal to minus 72, right? So in this expression you will get overall that u to the power 6 plus 8q, maybe 8q is equal to minus 72 uq, right? So from there you are getting u to the power 6 plus 72 uq plus 8q equal to 0. Now if you consider uq is equal to z like that, then you can apply the Siddharacharya rule, right? So this is basically Siddharacharya rule. Okay, if you do in this way you can do, but I have seen in that book also they are directly using this formula. If you are able to or remember this formula, then it is good. So if you consider uq equal to this thing, so what you have, uq is equal to minus b, right? Minus b is your minus 72 plus root over b square minus 4ac. B square you see 72 square minus 4ac, 4 into a is your 1 and c is your 8q. divided by 2. You see, same formula I have written. Okay, but yeah, there is some step. Okay, so you can do in this way. So whenever you have this thing, so the VQ will be in place of plus, you have to write minus. So in this way you can do. Yeah, but if you try using this formula, so remember this is uv is equal to minus h. Okay, so minus h, this is minus g, don't confuse with the sign. Here I am getting 8, so your h is basically minus 8. Okay, and your g is basically plus 72, right? So in this way you have to think. So if you compare, you better to write here h equal to minus 8 or g is equal to your 72, then you apply the formula, it will be better. Otherwise you will do mistake whenever you are doing the sign. Okay, so you just apply the sign, so you are getting the uq value. Okay, so I have find this value is your 8. So this is type of expression. Okay, so whenever you are getting this plus 8, so in place of vq, instead of plus, you have to write the minus, right? So if you do this minus, so you are getting minus 64, right? So if your uq is 8 and vq is minus 64, uq is, sorry, this is not plus 8, it is minus 8, right? So that's what I'm saying. Okay, so whenever you know, if your xq is equal to aq type of thing, then your x is actually a omega and a omega square. Okay, so in this way you have to think. So if your uq is minus 8, that means you can think minus 2 whole cube, right? So from there u value is minus 2 omega square. Similarly v is your minus 4 omega square. Okay, this way. So uv is done, but how to find a solution? You see, first you have considered x is equal to y minus h, that is we'll do later. After that we have consider y is equal to u plus v, right? So y equal to u plus v in such a way that u into v will be minus 8, because you see there are so many combinations. If your u is minus 2, so what value of v you will choose? There are 3 options, but you have to choose the option for which uv will be 8. So you see, for the minus 8, obviously you have to choose the minus 4 one, right? So that's why your okay, I will write this thing here. If u is minus 2, then v is equal to minus 4, right? So then y is equal to minus 6. If your u is minus 2 omega, so what should be the v value? Obviously minus 4 what? Omega square, not this minus 4 omega, because you know omega into omega square will be omega q, that is your 1, right? If you multiply these two term, then you should get 8, then you will get in 8, so you can have. Now you have to find what is your y, that is basically minus 2 omega then minus 4 omega square. And you do you know what are the value of omega and omega square? That is, I think Somit sir is doing. Okay, so basically omega is your minus 1 plus root 3 I by 2, and omega square is your minus 1 minus root 3 I by 2. If you take it, this is minus, the other one will be plus. Anything you can do. Okay, so just substitute this value here. Okay, if you substitute, you just check yourself, you will get u plus v will be this one. Okay, similarly if you do for the other one, okay, that u is equal to minus 2 omega square, and then correspondingly your v will be minus 4 omega. Okay, for this one you will get this one. Actually if you get one of this thing, so other one will be its conjugate, so that you can do in this way, no issue. Now after that, sorry, this is your x. So whenever you are getting y is equal to this thing, you know what is your x? You have considered x is equal to y plus h. H is your minus 2, so x equal to y minus 2 you have to do. So you have to subtract the minus 2, So x equal to minus 8 for this one you have 1 plus minus 2 3i. So in this way you have this 3 root. Okay, so practice all the remaining. Okay, very important. Okay, next is your Ferrari method. This is also coming. So this is your TE5. Okay, so this is the last portion of your this theory of equation 1. Okay, so how to do this type of problem, let's see. Is there an issue? Okay, okay, my touching is not working well, but anyway, so there are two options. So again I am considering the difficult one. You see there are so many terms, right? Okay, so 2x square 4 plus 5x cube minus 8x square minus 17x minus 6. So first I am dividing by 2 because it will be better. We start with the coefficient 1. Okay, so I divided by this 2 whole equation. Next you have to construct this type of equation. Okay, x square plus some coefficient into x plus lambda whole square minus mx plus n square. This is the form you have to remember. Okay, so some coefficient will be what? Remember, if this is whatever you have plus minus whatever, you have to divide by 2. That will be this coefficient. Okay, this thing you have to remember. So x square plus 5 by 4, right? 5 by 2 divided by 2, that is 5 by 4, right? So this is you have plus lambda, this is you have to write plus whole square minus mx plus n whole square. Okay, this is you have. Okay, so after that step you have to compare the coefficient. Okay, so what are the coefficient of your order of x square? Remember this thing, it take care of your x cube. So you have to think from order x square, order x and order 1. So what are the coefficient of order x square in this expression? You know what are the formula for a plus b plus c whole square? It is like a square plus b square plus c square plus 2ab plus 2bc plus 2ac, that type of thing. So how x square is coming? So you can think x square may comes from its whole square, that is 25 by 16, right? And if you have 2 ab term coming from this and this, so basically 2 lambda, right? This 2 term, and here you have the x square coming from minus m square, right? And you will see in the problem the coefficient is minus 4. So I have written this. Next, order x, order of x, that is x coefficient, how to find? So x coefficient will coming from, you can think from here this 2 bc term, right? So 2 into 5 by 4 into lambda, this type of term, and here you have 2 ab term, right? This and this, so minus 2m, this is equal to minus 70 by 2. This is you have. Next, constant term. How the constant term is coming? For lambda square, right? This one, here you have constant term n square, this one, and here it is minus 3. So you are getting this 3 equation. So from the 3 equation, from the first one you have to find the value m square, second one you have to find the value mn, third one you have to find the n square. Okay, so I have written according to that. Okay, you see m square value what you are getting from here. Don't mistake in the sign. Okay, you do properly everything. That's why I am not doing directly in the live. I already written because there are so many possibility of mistake. Okay, so do slowly, but don't make any calculation mistake, because for a simple plus minus mistake the whole marks will come. Okay, so from the first one I am getting m square is this, second one you are getting mn is equal to this, n square is equal to this. These are very easy, you can do easily. Okay, next. So you see, if you have the mn is equal to this thing, so if we do the whole square of this term, what you will have? M square plus n square will be this, right? Now you substitute the value m square and n square, you are getting this type of expression, right? Now you do some simplification. This side you have plus 16, here also you have 16 cancel. So, and if you do the LCM, you will get 32 lambda plus 89, right? This term, and this is as it is, and here you have 5 lambda plus 70 whole square. Now break this all the square and product. So I have breaked. Okay, here also I have break the multiplication. You have this thing, make into one side. Okay, so after that step, I think I am getting, you see, when it is 0, basically you will get some cubic equation you have to solve. Most of the cases this thing you will get some factor. Okay, for example, here if you put lambda is equal to 1, you see 16 plus 32 minus 37 minus 11, so this is cancel, right? So lambda minus 1 is a factor, you know, vanishing factor, right? So you just use the vanishing factor, so you are getting this. So we will not consider the remaining part, we will consider only this part. So if you have lambda is equal to 1, you will always find one real root. We are not interested in the second one. Okay, so if you find one root, so one of the real root always you will get. So if you put lambda is equal to 1 in the expression, so from there you have m square is equal to some value, right? Because m square is equal to what? M square is equal to 2 lambda plus 89 by 16. So you have 181 by 16. So m value will be 11 by 4. You will take the only positive, no issue. Okay, and correspondingly n square also you have some value. There is some problem, so you just see lambda square plus 3, so it is 4, so n is 2, so you just have to in the equation. Okay, in that form, remember this form, you just have to lambda m and n. Okay, so after that what you are getting, yeah, this is, you can think like a square minus b square. So what you have, a plus b into a minus b, or a minus b into a plus b. So I have written this is your a, this is your minus b, this is your a, this is your plus b. Okay, then do simplification, you will get two equation. Okay, so you see, and after doing simplification you have this type of equation. Now if you do this LCM 2, you have this one, and here you have this one. Now after this one, what you have, 2x square minus 3x minus 2. So from there you are getting some thing where 2x into x minus 2 into 1 into x minus 2. You just do the middle term factor, you will get the root. That's it. Okay. Oh, this is log, that's why it is not okay. Okay, so you are getting to root here 2 minus half minus 1 and minus 3. Okay, so these are the 3 root. Okay, 4 root. Okay, so Ferrari equation is very important. This is for your biquadratic equation. Okay, so what are the thing we have discussed in theory of equation? TE1 is your Descartes' rule of sign, right? Of sign. TE2 Stamps method. T3 is your reciprocal equation, T4 Cardans method, T5 Ferrari method. This is for solving cubic equation. Ferrari method is solving biquadratic equation. Okay, so if you just try this type of problem, there are some other question you practice in this way. Only this 3 portion you will get, I think, 15 to 17 marks. Okay, there are some part I discuss you that summation alpha square, this type of problem, or some root are in AP, GP, this type of combination is coming. Okay, so that was discussed earlier. So these are the portion. Okay, we are finishing this one. I think Somesh sir will take something about MGM, this type of thing. So that's it. Okay, you practice well. If any issue, you contact in the WhatsApp. Okay, bye for today.